Okay, let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings, who have been very busy this free agency period. They have four moves that I'm going to talk about. Three were this morning already, and then one was yesterday. We can start off with the yesterday move. That's center Ryan Kelly to a 2-year, $18 million deal, a deal that I think is a really good one. In fact, probably should have gotten some more, I would think. He's been a consistently good center for a while, and it's interesting how if Ryan Kelly played tackle, he would easily be getting like twice as much money for something like this. And a lot of people viewed tackle as the more valuable position. But ultimately, being able to block is being able to block. And having someone who can help fill out a position really can help. And again, usually the goal for offensive line isn't necessarily to have, five superstars, although that helps, of course, but it's to have five players who can just play and be quality. And Ryan Kelly has been a consistent, top 10 center in the league for, 9 years now. So being able to add him, he is 31 years old, but he should still be able to play well for at least the 2 years that you have him on contract for. So right off the bat, that's one that I really like. The other offensive moves, again, they're fully building through the trenches here, was guard Will Fries, who I don't know as much about this one. This one's a little bit more of a question, I think is fair to say. So part of it is they're giving him a decent chunk of change. They're giving him 5 years, $88 million. So that's, you're paying him not top dollar for a guard, but a quality money for a guard right here. And I think the question I have is he that much better than what you even have on your roster? Because I don't know. It's a weird one because I don't think he's been a bad guard. I think he's been an all right guard. I guess I would say he is better than what they have on their roster. But the question is how much of an upgrade is it, and is it worth that amount of money to pay? And if you are going to pay that much, do you just go up and try to add someone else? They maybe could have had an opportunity to trade for Joe Thuney, depending on what the Bears wanted to do. You would have had to give up a draft pick as well. Was there a better option is the question. My gut when I see that price tag for Will Fries is that feels a bit high. It does. Don't get me wrong, I think he'll still be a solid player for the Minnesota Vikings, so maybe I shouldn't be too hard on it. And the difference between him and someone like Thuney is he is just 26 years old. So you are getting someone who is a relatively young player. Also worth noting, him and Ryan Kelly both come from the Colts, so they've both blocked next to each other for the past, couple of years, because Fries was injured last year and didn't play a ton his rookie year. So really, those kind of 2022 and 2023 years, they have experience blocking next to each other. So because of that, maybe you want to add them both and keep the continuity there. That can potentially help. So for an offensive line with the Vikings that already has two good tackles, adding some interior help as well, the reality is this should be a very good offensive line for J.J. McCarthy next year, who we're assuming is the quarterback. Maybe this video will age poorly if they sign Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going with J.J. McCarthy, and so having a good offensive line for your young quarterback is smart. Now, for defense, so they've had an interesting, some interesting stuff in the secondary. They obviously lost Cameron Bynum. They did re-sign Byron Murphy Jr., the corner, but they've improved not the edge rush position, not the secondary position, but the interior defensive line. And again, they have players in the secondary that they can trust. Stephon Gilmore is still currently a free agent. We'll see what happens there. But, you have edge rushers that they like, Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard. You still have Dallas Turner, who they spent the first-round pick on. They want to improve the interior, and so they went out and did that. First with Jonathan Allen, who they're giving a 3-year, $60 million deal. Interestingly enough, the Commanders got rid of Jonathan Allen, who was going to get $15.5 million for his last year. The Vikings pay him more to bring him in. Usually that's not how that works, right? But I don't hate the move. I think Jonathan Allen's a good player. Now, he got injured last year, is not coming off of his best year. That's absolutely fair to say. And in fact, I think you could say he's not coming off his best 2 years. So you are betting a little bit here that you're going to get the Jonathan Allen of old, and sometimes those bets don't work. He is past 30 at this point. He is 30, I should say. So you don't know how many good years you're going to get for someone like Jonathan Allen, and I think that's the concern that you have, right? Is how well is this going to work out? Are you going to end up with a situation where you pay big money and he doesn't fully work out? I haven't seen the guarantees on this yet, so I don't know exactly how much he's gonna, if there is a way you can pull the ripcord here if things do go wrong. I don't know, but yeah, it's an interesting move, one that definitely could work out, and if it does, you're gonna have a very good player, and then there's the whole veteran leadership, whatever, who knows how much that works, but yeah, that's another thing on the table. Finally, for the fourth and final signing that they've had so far, the player who I think is maybe the biggest wild card in all of this, Javon Hargrave, who, if you remember 2 years ago, Javon Hargrave signed a big deal with the San Francisco 49ers. He is someone who was considered to be a top free agent. He signs with the 49ers, and in 2023, they go to the Super Bowl. He was a part of that team. He was an effective piece, but I think he wasn't fully what they were hoping they were getting when they signed him. And then last year he got injured. So it wasn't like he was a disaster his first year, but was maybe underwhelming his first year. And then the second year did not get, just got hurt. What are you going to do? He's 32 years old at this point, and the question you just have to say is, okay, well, how much does he have left in the tank? 32 years old, coming off of an injury, but has had some very good years. This one we do not have the contract details for just yet, so we'll see how much this works. But as of right now, it has been on paper agreed to. Well, technically none of these moves are on paper agreed to, because you can't agree to move on paper until tomorrow, but in theory they have been agreed to at this point, so we'll see see what happens. But yeah, as a whole, interesting for Minnesota, as they are clearly making a mindset to build through the trenches. It's interesting with them building through the trenches. The Bears have built through the trenches in that division. You have obviously the Lions, who are known for their trenches, and then you have the Packers, who even signed an offensive lineman. So some good trench play in the NFC North, and I guess the Vikings didn't want to be left out, so they went and added some players as well. And ultimately, I'm interested in seeing how this is all going to work out. But yeah, those are my thoughts in all of this. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. I will mention before I go, I do have a movie channel. If you want to hear my thoughts on movies, you can check that out. The link is in the description below. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Minnesota Vikings. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.